Let's give it a shot.
Alright, so like we said, we've got to take a dump. We're going to get the Dwarf Gekko, which I've been told those things that we're fighting that I called Metal Gears were not actually Metal Gears. They're called geckos. I apologize for that. Again, I am, you know, woefully unprepared to actually give, like, Metal Gear style analysis because I've only played the second game. I didn't even play the whole second game. I watched my friend beat the second game, which I love Metal Gear Solid 2. Even just watching that was really engaging. What am I doing here? Let's try not to be seen, but at the same time, these guys are very easy to fight. We're gonna be seen. Let's just jump off, see if I can get an easy stealth kill. Nope. Instead, let's just cut these dudes up. Like I said, anytime the game gives me the option, I am always gonna take the option where I can eat a dude's spine. And hey, we're actually fighting men this time. Oh, well, and a gecko as well. Or a dog, if you will. Depending on the nomenclature that I've been using that you're familiar with. So we can start cutting off left arms here if we want to as well, but I kind of am not that interested. More interested in just getting the kills here to start with. So we're just going to do some crowd control, take out the dudes who are not that dangerous. Thought maybe I might get lucky and cut off his left arm there. Also, someone told me you could just let spines fall to the ground and then pick them up later. That is good to know as well. That was terrible. Definitely should have parried. If you're not, if you're playing this game along with me, which I assume some of you are, and you haven't really gotten used to the parry, that will change after this boss fight that you have, I assure you. This boss fight for me was probably the second hardest boss fight in the game. Oh, come on, I had him. After the final boss fight, which I found really, really difficult. A lot of people agree with me on that one, but I seem to be mostly alone in having problems with the boss fight that comes at the end of this level. But it really punished me for like a half hour. I was just constantly retrying against this existing boss. But anyway, you'll see that momentarily as we get over there. It's a fairly long mission. This mission's pretty cutscene heavy, which may or may not tickle your fancy depending on how much you're into the story here. I thought this mission was okay, but also it's the introduction of George, who is by far the most annoying character in the game. And possibly the most annoying character in any game, really. Oh, come on, let me get the sweet spinal fluid. I don't want to use my repair nano paste. That was a big problem for me in my first playthrough. Was failing miserably and having to use repair nano paste constantly, which caused me a lot of problems. Oh god, I feel a sneeze coming on. So let's play curse. So I don't really care if they increase security, to be honest with you. Do we get a cutscene here? We're coming up to a cutscene, I promise you that. I mean, this is technically a cutscene, but it's not the one I was thinking of. Sweet, sweet brain factory. Man, what if this is just what the planet Earth is? Like, we're all brains in a jar. You ever think about that? And man, what if the color blue that I see isn't the same as the color blue that you see? As much as I love Vsauce, sometimes I think that the channel should just be renamed like conversations that people have when they're stoned, or, you know, 11. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I dig the scientific background that they try to bring to things. How is that? Okay, for once, I actually did not have an opportunity to use stealth in that situation. So, those guys, whenever they block, it's really easy to just, oh, Jesus Christ, that was bad. Whenever they block, you can just kind of get beyond their block by using heavy attacks instead of, normal attacks, which is going to give you a good chance to chomp down on some spines. In fact, I'm starting to wish that maybe I'd done this, Let's Play on hard instead of normal. But I will say that, you know, the boss fights are still going to be super difficult for me. Ah, come on. So I think normal is probably the smart man's decision. But hard might have been a little bit more entertaining, because at this point, once you learn how to parry effectively, then, you know, you're pretty much without risk against a lot of these enemies, and a lot of waves of enemies, especially if you can effectively use blade mode and chop enemy spines out on the regular. Anyway, it's going to be our final dude. Let's try to do some more heavy attacks as opposed to just purely light attacks. Let's go for his left hand this time. It was pretty good, I'd say, and then we'll chop him up into a million pieces. That could be an S. No, it's not. A rank. Well, I've only gotten one B rank, so I consider that positive. By the way, a number of people have mentioned... Oh, come on, I was just looking for sweet-ass item boxes.
But that room...
I'll let them talk, because they are going through a fairly important story beat right now.
George said they were
and I'll just walk around.
Yes, this must be why they are trafficking children. Perhaps other organs are being sold elsewhere, but they are definitely taking their brains.
Jesus, are they making these kids into cyborgs?
Wait. The cyborgs you've been fighting, did they seem like they might be kids? You said earlier that child soldiers have a telltale approach to combat.
Yeah, but I didn't see it here. Those weren't kids.
So, what? Desperado's just doing the surgeries there?
We've got to do something about all those brains. And the other kids George was talking about. He just escaped a few hours ago. They couldn't have taken all their brains out that fast.
True. There could still be a bunch of kids they haven't touched yet.
I better move.
Alright, so we're gonna chop this up. We're gonna find the Dwarf Gekko. More electrolyte packs. I've never used a single electrolyte pack in the entire game, but we are gonna get one of the few instances in this game where we're actually not gonna be playing as Raiden. For about, 45 seconds here, we're gonna be playing as the Dwarf Gekko as we make our way through this ventilation duct. There's actually some extras that we can get here. I'll get them. I don't really know what they do, but there's like, gaps here, and if we roll through those gaps like so, we can pick up data storage, which, might do something for us. There's another one up here, I believe. This guy doesn't have AR, so obviously we can't just switch on our AR vision and then easily see where all of these things are. But anyway, there's 2 data storages there that are relatively easy to get. We could also kill these guys if we wanted to, but I never quite understand the purpose of that, or understood the purpose of that. Seems to me that what we should really do is just kind of fit through that vent, wait until this guy looks in the other way, jump through here, and that is going to be our time. S rank, fantastic. I guess it's part of the S ranking there was because I did it quickly, which, makes sense. It's nice to be rewarded for doing something quickly as opposed to punished, if you know what I mean, ladies. I like that USB joke right there, by the way, because that pretty much describes me anytime I try to put a wired Xbox 360 controller into the Xbox 360. You can't see the port, and you're always like, oh, I can never tell which way it's supposed to be.
Patch it through.
Oh, now we are going to get the cutscene that I was thinking of. So we are actually getting fairly close to the end of this level, which means it's a little bit shorter than the one that preceded it. And that's going to be common. We're going to be dealing with, an hour-long level, then 45 minutes, then a half hour, and there's going to be some levels that, could be as low as 6 or 7 minutes, depending on how quickly you do them. I'm obviously not going to be S-ranking. I'll shut up. Verbal diarrhea.
Second one old Georgie boy used on the kids in Liberia. Of course, it's right straight to the brain now. Feels as real as anything else. Your work is astonishing. And your work is late. We need to ship before our cover is blown. We've got some assholes snooping around.
We just do not have the full quantity yet. Each brain has its own unique requirements. It's not like we can just pop them out with an ice cream scoop.
All right. Make your point.
Oh, thank you for understanding.
Say what you have now. I'll destroy any unharvested inventory.
Okay? But have you any idea what they cost?
Last I checked, children weren't exactly rare in the part of the world. Millions of them, in fact. You can get more once we set up a new lab. They lead lives of hunger and pain. We're performing a service here for them and the cities they burden.
But just gathering the donors requires a significant investment.
Yes, you'll get the money. Accounting will be in touch.
Gracias. I assure you we will dispose of our inventory the instant we can confirm payment.
Are we done here? I've got a full slate today. Tecumseh is a demanding mistress, and America has suffered long enough.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Let me see you out.
You see that, Kev? Imani's killer.
Desperado's chief of operations goes by Sundowner, the Californian wildfire.
The kids.
Think we're too late?
Only one way to find out. George was still alive. Maybe the payment hasn't come through yet.
Maybe. But you heard what he said. They've already started some brains on VR training.
There must be more than just what I found here. What about the VIP in the suit?
I'll find out. He definitely seemed familiar.
Right. I'm going after the kids.
Alright, so immediately after that, we're gonna have to... Oh, God! Cyberman, get off me! We're gonna have to go through some combat here. Again, we didn't have the option to be stealthy, so I guess the trade-off... That was terrible as well. I guess the trade-off would be, you know, maybe you could kill all of these guys with the Dwarf Gekkos that you were using earlier. and then not have to deal with them with Raiden, but, you know, as opposed to stealth killing them, I would rather chop them in half and eat their spines. Just call it personal preference, I guess. And again, trying for a good rank here, even though I think I've pretty much guaranteed that I'm going to be getting a B rank on this mission. Maybe even C if I suck against the boss, which is, you know, in all likelihood what's probably going to happen. Actually, like, I played this game and this boss took me like 45 minutes of constant retrying to beat, which probably, you know, for some of you is going to undermine my credibility when I talk about the ease of this game a little bit. But then I watched Kate do it, and she beat the boss on the first try without using any consumable items, and I was like, God damn it! Should have played Bayonetta when I was very slightly younger. Yeah, we're done here. Okay. So then we just have to come up here. I'm guessing that was probably a B rank. Seemed like it was going okay, but could have been better, and I took a little bit of gunfire as well. Maybe we just don't get ranked on that at all for whatever reason. I think we have a little bit more combat. Of course, we're going to have to deal with this. Courtney! It's cold in here. Button your shirt up a little bit more. Oh, my bad. It actually doesn't have any extra buttons. I guess they just sell that. Did you buy that lab coat in the sexy Halloween costume aisle? At the medical supply store?
I don't know.
You know, it's not my fault for looking. It's her fault for showing them off. I hope that didn't come across as misogynistic as it made me think it was on second thought. I'm just riffing here, you know? We're at a half hour. Just trying to make up some funny... It's entertainment, man. It's all off the cuff. Actually, we are on our boss fight now. Which is a two-phase boss fight, and possibly, you know, probably the second most annoying boss fight in the game, in my opinion, at least. We're going to be fighting this Grad, I believe it's called, a G-R-A-D. I'm just going to call it the Grad. And we're going to use our vision here, because there are some extra... Oh, okay, here's our first, like, upgrade item. I think we have to slice the lock like so. Yes, and in doing so... We're going to get Hollow Chip Large, which gives us extra BP, I guess. Sometimes you'll find actual, like, upgrades for Raiden in there, so you'll find, like... Oh, that was terrible. You'll find, like, an upgrade to his health or something. Just turning on AG to see if I can... Or AV, Augmented Vision. See if I can see any extra item boxes. There's got to be some. I'm pretty sure there's Repair Nano Paste around here. Because we got to push this guy back, and I had to use a shit ton of Repair Nano Paste my first time through. To beat this guy. So what we do here, we're going to get shot like 30 times, hit by missiles as well. That's all a matter of course here as you fight this guy. We've got to push him backwards. The way we're going to do this is by, you know, baiting him into attacking like this, and then performing a small combo against him. And once we push him back all the way, he will enter a new mode. You know, if you have trouble with this boss, or had trouble with this boss, never fear. This guy is a total pain in the ass. I'm hoping that it's going to be a little bit better for me, because, you know, I've fought him before. I know his patterns. This part is super annoying. It's important to note, I don't believe you can parry that, unless you have, like, absolutely perfect timing. So what I prefer to do is just kind of run away, and then push him back like so. And once we push him back all the way, we will enter the second phase of this boss fight. That was close. I very nearly got hit there. Okay, now we're entering the second phase of this boss fight. It's gone surprisingly well so far, I have to say. So, now just don't F it up as you always do. Okay. So there's a few important parts to this boss fight. A few important patterns to memorize, if you will. The most important pattern, constantly keep running, even if he's doing his dipsy doodle there. Parrying, also important if you can make that work. You know what? I know that you use Repair Nano Paste when you're in a bad spot automatically, but this is when is the easiest time to get some sick combos done on him if I could stop doing a roll for whatever reason. Whenever he enters that phase, it's easiest to just do a sweet-ass combo on him and then have access to Blade Mode. Because all he does in that mode is shoot at you, so as long as you stay out of the range of his gun, you should be okay. So this is going substantially better than it went the first time I fought this guy. That is for damn sure. We're just going to wait for him to take some shots at us. Hopefully he hunkers down again. Sometimes with the camera, it can be a little bit difficult to tell what's going on. Man, this is going a lot better than it previously did. Again, you know, standard Metal Gear Rising Revengeance boss fight. This guy's going to go through a few different phases. We're going to cut him up fairly easily now, I hope. I just got rocked a little bit, twice. Let's very quickly... No! You fuckers totally lied to me. You used Repair Paste on it automatically? Bull effing shit. I should have used that Repair Paste much sooner. Anyway, that's the first death I think we've had so far. We're gonna start at the at the second phase of this boss fight, which is, you know, a little bit merciful again, because I ended up doing this boss fight 35,000 times when I first played through the game. Alright, so we just lost like 50% of our health. 70% make that in a single bound right there. Let's quickly use our time here to use some repair nano paste, of which we have 5, which is the maximum. Just gonna watch out. These things will explode, by the way. These like fiery barrels around us. I'm not even hitting him at all here. Alright. Previously had reason for optimism, but it's been going a little bit poorly over the last couple of minutes. That's a very important one to block. That's also a pretty important one to block if you can make it happen. But this one is the big one. That was the one that really gave me a lot of problems when I did this boss fight on my own, in my blind playthrough, of course. By the way, some people have been asking, you know, what happened to the blind playthroughs, Northernlion? We missed the blind playthroughs. I understand what you guys are saying, that this is the kind of game I don't think you want to see me play through blind. You want to see me play through this with some kind of aptitude. It's easy to forget, you know, a lot of people love blind playthroughs, and I understand that, but probably, not to toot my own horn, but my most beloved Let's Play of all time is probably Dark Souls, at least the most well-remembered one, for me actually having some aptitude. And that was far from a blind Let's Play. That was a game that I had played basically religiously for a long time before I did that Let's Play. So in any case, I mean, I'm not saying I'm as good at this game as I am at Dark Souls, and I'm probably shit at Dark Souls now because it's been so long since I played it. I'm just saying, you know, there's... both have their virtues, shall we say. There we go. We fixed the camera a little bit by messing with the lock-on function. We got swept up in that sweet Brian Boitano move there, and that as well. I'm very tempted to use some repair nano paste. Now I am going to use some repair nano paste because I apparently suck. I hate that I have to do that. Oh, that's a bad move to get caught on. Oh, good. He's just stuck for a minute. So we might be able to stun him here. Again, once you get this enemy down to about 10%, that's pretty much Metal Gear Rising Revengeance's cue to just finish the boss fight. So I think we're going to be okay here. We've only got to do a little bit more damage to him. But the way he swings around kind of makes this boss fight hell, because the game's camera is not always the most cooperative thing in the world. Now he's in the method, or the position where we can butt fuck him pretty easily. We're just going to slice him up like so. And that should be the end of this boss fight, which I believe is the end of this mission. We gotta chop the turret as well. By the way, eventually we're gonna fight these guys just as regular units, so prepare for that. That's probably I thought it was a C. I'm happy with a B ranking on this, to be quite honest with you, assuming this is the end of the mission. But it might not be. There might be a little bit more.
I knew I'd seen that guy before.
Oh, so he's gonna tell us a little bit more of the story that we are dealing with here. We might actually have a very important story beat coming. But in any case, he's telling us now that basically Colorado Senator Kevin Armstrong. Was it Kevin or Stephen Armstrong? Probably Stephen, because this guy's named Kevin.
To a certain private
World Marshal, one of the biggest PMCs out there. I remember.
The biggest, ever since the Big Five split up. Not to mention the single largest investor in military cyborg R&D in the world. Guess that answers the question of who's backing Desperado.
Marshall and Desperado in bed together. Should make for some fun headlines.
Headlines? This is World Marshal and a U.S. Senator we're talking about. There won't be any headlines. Even without the Patriots filter, no major media outlet will investigate allegations like these. It'd be financial and political suicide.
So we just what? Sit back while they keep carving up kids, stand aside while they build an army of cyborgs? You heard them. We shut down one lab, they build another. They're planning something big, Kev. We can't just wait for it to happen. We need to hit them first and hit them hard where it counts.
No, Raiden, no. I know what you're thinking, and just no. Colorado is in America, and America has these things called laws.
Mm-hmm. And law enforcement in Denver was privatized and farmed out to...
Marshall, yes, so what? There are still laws, and it's their headquarters, for Christ's sakes. You'd be heading right into the heart of a raging shitstorm.
I didn't say it would be easy. We'll figure it out once the kids are safe.
Jesus Christ. Kevin out.
Alright, so I believe we have a little bit more to do on this mission, but not too much. The sense of relief I felt when I beat that boss for the first time, it was like in Dark Souls, you know, beating something like Seath the Scaleless for the first time. Oh, I forgot this part. We have to fight these guys. I don't want to do it. I wonder if... let's try something a little bit clever here. By the way, this guy has something cool on his arm. So if we cut that off, that'll be awesome for us. What if we... Yes, I think we should throw a red phosphorus grenade here. I'm just going to back up to like so. And we'll try to toss it not through the wall. Maybe like against this wall. Oh, maybe I have to hit right trigger. Okay, and then we're going to run through. And we're going to chop the dude's arm off. Oh, he saw us, obviously. But maybe I can get into blade mode here in a second and then go straight for the arm. No! That's it! That's perfect! Oh, it actually worked. I can't believe it. Alright, and then we'll fight this guy. So we should get an S rank here, plus we got the extra... I should go get that, by the way. Whatever, he's dead. Run and get this arm before it disappears. Beautiful! Alright, so that's some extra BP for us. Always feels good, because I'm terrible at remembering to do that. Make sure to hit the attention button to move onwards. Seems a little bit archaic to me. They should have hollow screens that just read our mind by this point.
Ah, an artificial blood cryopreserver. They must have begun preparatory freezing.
What do you mean?
That device is filled with synthetic blood plasma. It can slow the metabolism of a harvested organ, circulating this plasma to sustain oxygen levels. You can preserve an arm, a brain, any body part for several hours.
So what are they freezing, and why?
I could not say. Perhaps they plan to sell off the organs of the children they were told to dispose of.
Unbelievable.
You had best hurry, Raiden.
Right.
I totally forgot. I thought this mission was almost over, but there actually is, I think, right here, a huge cutscene. But that will mark the end of the mission, and I think our gameplay is basically done here, so I imagine I've split the episode into 2 parts by now. But this will be the end of, technically, I guess, episode 5, if I'm being 100%, you know, with forethought, looking at how these episodes are going to shake out. I always wonder, when you watch how this cutscene shakes out, wonder why Raiden didn't just break the glass immediately. That's a big moment for me, of like, what is this dude thinking?
George!
Raiden! You've heard of chloroform? A potent anesthetic in smaller doses. But breathe too much of it? And adios, muchachos! Break that glass, and I'll blow his brains out!
Yes, please.
Surrender! Or decide, the needs of the many, or the needs of the few.
Raiden, don't worry about me now.
Quiet, pendejo! Surrender! I won't ask again.
George. Are you sure?
I'm ready. Me life now so precious. Ting, what if we can take this skunt to hell with me?
Cállate!
That's all I needed to hear.
Stop it! Now! I'll kill him!
Stop
I swear.
it. And with that, that represents another 1/7 or so of Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance finished. That mission time is pretty short. Oh, come on. That mission was so good except for those bees. But in any case, thank you guys for watching. I will see you when we end up on Chapter R-03. Again, thanks for watching and supporting the series so far, and I will see you next time.